Hey guys, make sure you go ahead and put your name at the top of your paper. Today is the 27th, so 8/27. Alright, we should have our name on our paper by now. Make sure that you have the date for 8/27/18. Alright, so today we're doing order of operations. This should be review, but just in case, we're going to work some problems together, make sure we're showing the order that we do the operations. So the biggest things on these problems that I want to make sure that I'm seeing is one operation at a time. If it's called the order of operations, I have to see the order you're doing your work in, so we're going to do one step at a time. Some of you remember the acronym. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, all right, or PIMDOS, depending on how you would like to remember that. When I do my order of operations, when I do please excuse my dear, MD, I like to write together, and AS for Aunt Sally I like to write together, because you're always going to look at your parentheses and your exponents first. Multiplication and division, you're going to work in order. And then addition and subtraction, you're going to work in the order that they're in the problem. All right, so let's look at some examples of these. So starting with number one. Number one, the first thing we're always looking is for that P, parentheses. All right, and parentheses are these grouping symbols around that 12 and that 3. So in this problem, since I have parentheses, I'm going to work that part first. And I like to underline what I'm doing just so that when someone's looking at my work, they can tell. So 12 plus 3 is going to give me 15. Once I do everything inside the parentheses, I don't have to write those symbols anymore. So I'm just writing 15. I have not done anything with the times 14, and I haven't done anything with the minus 5, so I'm just rewriting those. Again, we're doing one step at a time. All right, I'm looking to see if there are any more parentheses, which there aren't in this problem. The next thing I'm going to check for is exponents. That's what we were practicing last week, last Thursday and Friday. We had that coloring sheet, or some of us had that just chart that we were filling in. So exponents, there are none of those little numbers in the corner, so we don't have any of those. So the next thing we're looking for is multiplying and dividing, if there are any multiplication or division problems. Here we do have 15 times 14. So guys, I'm going to have to go over to the side of my paper to multiply this. So we're still using that algorithm that we practiced for the first 2 weeks of school. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus the 2 is 6. Put my 0 as my placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 1 is 1. Adding that up, 6 and 5 is 11. So I get 210. So underneath that, I'm going to write 210. I still haven't done anything with minus 5, so I'm just going to keep bringing that down. All right, and guys, look at how clearly and neatly that work is written. That's what I need to see. If you have to go to the side and work something else, that's fine. We could also do that on a piece of paper if we wanted some lined paper to organize that better. All right, no parentheses, no exponents. There's no more multiplication or division. The last thing, addition and subtraction, which there's subtraction here, is the only thing left to do. 210 minus 5 gives me 205, so that's my answer that I'm looking for. All right, so let's look at the next one. First thing I'm looking for, parentheses. Are there any parentheses here? Yes. I know I'm skipping over to 6. I'm sorry. We're going to do 6. So in the parentheses, we have 15 plus 2, which gives me 17. That's the only thing that was in the parentheses, so I don't have to write those anymore. Times 11 minus 4. I haven't used those, so I just keep writing them. All right? No more parentheses. There are no exponents, multiplication and division. There is a multiplication problem here, so we're going to need to work that out. Again, we can go over to the side. 17 times 11. 1 times 7. 1 times 1. 0 as a placeholder. Please don't forget that. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. We're going to add those together. 7 and 0. 1 and 7. And then 1. So that's going to give me 187 when I work that out, minus 4. All right, we're down to just one operation, so that's all that's left to do. 187 minus 4 is going to give me 183. All right, so I'm going to pause for just a moment to make sure if there's anyone that's trying to keep up give you a chance to catch up before we move on to the next one. Let's make sure we're getting that filled in. I am going to be looking at this. This will be turned in at the end of class with your classwork. All right. Let's move down to number 2. Again, guys, I'm going to write out to the side so I know that I'm following the correct steps. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I'm having to write that again because I can't see the top of my paper anymore on the screen. All right, number 2. Are there parentheses? So we're going to look inside the parentheses first at 7 minus 8. All right, 7 minus 8 gives me 1. All right, have I done anything else to that problem? No? So we're going to bring down everything else. So I haven't done anything to the 10 times 6, still writing that, plus, and we have the plus 1 there now. All right, still looking at my order of operations. We got rid of the parentheses. Are there any exponents? Not in this problem. Is there any multiplying or dividing? Yes, we do have a multiplication. So we're going to do 6 times 10, which is 60. Good, we can work that one in our head. I love it when that happens. So we work that out. Now I just have one operation left, and 60 plus 1 is 61. All right, guys, do you see how I'm doing one operation at a time, every single problem? We're not double dipping, one thing at a time. All right, number 7, are there parentheses? Guys, if there are no parentheses, you just keep going. You do your multiplying and exponents first or multiplying and dividing first. All right, we do have parentheses here. 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, that was the only thing in the parentheses, so that's all I need to write down. We don't have to keep those parentheses symbols around it. Let's bring down everything we didn't use. So 3 times 5 and our plus sign. Okay, there are no more parentheses. There are no exponents. That's that little number in the corner. Is there any multiplying and dividing? We have 3 times 5, so we're going to do 15. We still haven't done anything with plus 8, so we're going to write that down. Now it just says 15 plus 8, which we can work out and get 23. Okay, guys? All right, make sure we're keeping up. And pause before I move that out of the way. All right, let's look at the next one, the next problem. Are there any parentheses? Yes. So we're going to start there. 16 minus 5 would give me 11. That was the only thing in the parentheses, so I don't need to write them anymore. Plus 20 times 4, because I haven't done anything with those yet. All right, looking at the problem again. Are there any parentheses now? Nope, we got rid of them. Any exponents? Nope. Any multiplication or division? Yes, we do need to multiply these. So 20 times 4 is 80. Because 4 times 2 is 8. Just add that 0. We still have plus 11 there. All right, that's the only operation. So 80 plus 11 gives me 91. All right, these first ones are pretty easy. At this point, we should be kind of breezing through these, hopefully. Number 8, we have parentheses that we're starting with. 9 minus 5 is 4 plus 24 times 6, because we haven't done those, so I'm just filling it in. All right, there are no parentheses, there are no exponents, there is multiplication or division, so that's what we're going to do next. So 4 plus 24 times 6. Again, that's one I might need to go to the side and do. 24 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 gives me 14. So I get 144. That's the only operation left, so I get 148. Okay. All right, easy peasy. So just caught a little bit of a mistake that I had on this worksheet. I did not see before. All right, so guys, y'all see that little minus sign in front of the 2? That's a negative sign. We're just going to mark that out. We don't want to use that. Just mark that out. You can do an X. We don't want that at all. Like, don't put that. It's not times. That's not there. Pretend it is not there. Sorry about that. That one got past me when I was finding us an order of operations activity to practice with. Okay, so still same steps. Are there any parentheses? Yeah, in fact, we got 2 sets of parentheses. So guys, if I have 2 sets of parentheses, can I do them both at once? Absolutely not. Absolutely cannot do these both at once because we can only do one operation at a time. So logically, we're going to start with the first one. All right, we're not like going to skip around. We're just going to start in that first set of parentheses. So I've got a little bit of a problem because when I look in these parentheses, I have a minus, but also inside the parentheses, we have that exponent. So if I look over here on my list, which one comes first in the list? The minus or the exponent? E is up at the top, that stands for exponent, so that tells me what to do first. So inside the parentheses, I've got to do 6 to the second power first. Okay, that's not the only thing in the parentheses this time, so I've got to keep my parentheses there. We have 60 minus 6 to the second power. Remember, this is what we practiced last week, 6 to the second power. 6 is what we're multiplying. 2 tells us how many times to multiply it. So this really means 6 times 6. And 6 times 6 gives me 36. Minus, we still have this second set of parentheses. All right, so I'm just leaving out that little negative sign because we don't want it. I accidentally did not catch that. I'm sorry, guys. All right. We only did one thing. Please make sure we're only doing one thing at a time. I just want to make sure right now we're focusing on doing it in the correct order. You can take shortcuts later on in math, but for right now, I have to see the order you're doing each thing. All right. We're still got parentheses. These parentheses are first, so I'm still working on these parentheses right here, the first set. So I'm going to do 60 minus 36. All right, so 60 minus 36 is going to give me 24. All right, that was the only thing, so now I don't need the parentheses anymore. Minus, I still have 2 plus 4 inside the parentheses. Okay. Now these parentheses are really important. Remember, just because it says A first doesn't mean we would add first. If they weren't there, we would do the subtraction and then the addition. But since this has parentheses around it, it moves up to the top of the list. So 2 plus 4 is what we're going to do next, which gives me 24 minus 6. All right, since that was the only thing left in those parentheses, that's the only thing I didn't have to bring the parentheses down. All right, 24 minus 6 gives me 18. Okay, we're doing that one step at a time. All right, let's look at number 9. Number 9, starting off at the top, P stands for parentheses. I have a set, so we're going to start there. So I have 5 times. What is 8 plus 6 going to give me? Inside those parentheses, I get 14. Okay, that was the only thing inside the parentheses, so I don't need the parentheses symbols anymore. Plus 6 to the second power. All right, so are there any more parentheses? Nope, that's done. So we're looking for exponents. We do have an exponent in this problem. 6 to the second power. Remember, that doesn't mean 6 times 2. 6 to the second power means 6 times 6. The big number is what you're multiplying. The little number tells you how many times to multiply it. All right, so 6 times 6 gives me 36. I have not done anything else. So everything else stays exactly where it was. All right. Are there any parentheses? Nope. Any exponents? Nope. Any multiplication or division? We do have multiplication here, so we got to do 5 times 14. 5 times 14 is going to give me 70 plus 36. Again, if we needed to, we could work that out to the side. That happens to be one that I just know off the top of my head. If not, work it out to the side. All right, now the last thing, it just says 70 plus 36. That's one operation, so we can do that. We should end up with 106. Again, guys, please never hesitate to go to the side if we would need to line those up. All right, our last two have a little bit more going on. These are going to be a little bit more challenging, but we got it. We're ready. All right, on number 5, first thing we're looking at is parentheses. Now, inside these parentheses, I have a lot going on. I'm multiplying, I'm adding, and I have an exponent. So to determine which one to do first, I'm going to look at my list again. Inside the parentheses, if I have multiplication, addition, and an exponent, The one that comes first in this list is that E for my exponent. So that's where I'm going to start. Now this time, that's not the only thing in the parentheses. So we have to keep those parentheses symbols there until we just have one operation. All right, 7 to the second power means 7 times 7, which is 49 minus 5. All right, I still have parentheses, so let's look inside. I have a multiplication and I have an addition. I have multiplication and addition. My order of operations says to multiply first. So I'm going to do 3 times 10. It's not the only thing in the parentheses, so I've got to keep writing them. That gives me 30 plus 49 inside the parentheses minus 5. Right. Next step, I still have parentheses, so I'm still on the P. All right. Inside the parentheses, it says 30 plus 49. It's the only thing this time. So when I bring that down, I can just write 79 without the parentheses symbols minus 5. We're down to just one operation. 79 minus 5 gives me 74. All right. Last problem for our notes today that we're going to work together. Order of operations starts with parentheses. Now this one is a little tricky. You'll notice our exponent is a little different here. If I look inside the parentheses, the only thing inside the first set, because remember if there are two, we're just going to look at the first one. The only thing inside is the 5 plus 4. That exponent is not inside the parentheses. So I'm not worrying about it right now because parentheses, P comes first. So 5 plus 4 gives me 9. That was the only thing inside the parentheses, so now I don't need them anymore. What I do need, though, is that 2. It was on the outside of the parentheses, just like it's going to go outside and next to our 9. Right? So we have the parentheses that we did on the inside. The 2 stayed next to them, so once we have those gone, we still got to keep our 2. Plus, we're not working with those second set yet, so we're just going to write them down. All right, order of operations. Guys, it's really tempting once you write this to work it out. But the order of operations says we got to do parentheses. There's still a set of parentheses, so I got to do 18 minus 3. All right, remember, I only want one operation at a time. So we're going to do 9 to the second power because we haven't worked that out. 18 minus 3 is 15. That was the only thing in the parentheses, so once I've worked it, they can go away. All right, order of operations. We did parentheses. Now I'm looking for my exponents. I do have an exponent here, 9 to the second power, which means 9 times 9, which is 81 plus 15. Then we're going to work that out. 81 plus 15 is going to give me 96. Okay. All right, guys, so for your classwork today, what I want you to work on, you're going to flip this over. There are 10 problems on the back. I want you to work those 10 problems on the back and turn them in. Please work those 10 problems on the back and turn them in. Miss H is in here today to help you out. All right, so turn them into her, and you're going to pick up your homework sheet. Oh, well, yeah, once you finish those 10, you're going to turn them into her, and you're going to pick up your homework sheet. All right, your homework sheet, guys. Your homework sheet looks like this. Guys, y'all saw how much work I have. This is not enough room to show all that work. Here's a reminder of your list that this work has to be on your own paper. Just like normal, you can write your answer here, but your work should be on your own paper. All right, but before you can pick this up, I need you working on those 10 on the back. All right, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you get everything completed today and turned in. We have lots to do.